Hey guys, it's JP, and today we are going to go over something a little different. This time we will be talking about why runners should also incorporate exercises that involve the arms. However, a common rebuttal to this is, what's the point if you run with your legs? Now, sure, you do not need a ton of shoulder motion and strength when you run, but the point is, they still move. In this front view, you can see this to be the case as Eliud Kipchoge runs. This is why I tend to mix in some exercises that engage the lower body while simultaneously involving the arms. Incorporating these kinds of movements can also further increase difficulty of the exercise, especially where limited equipment is available, such as at home. This can be a useful option, especially at this time. Now, here are some interesting exercises that involve the arms which are great for runners to try. The first exercise I will go over is the single leg bridge with arm openers. This was inspired by one of my colleagues, Chris Johnson. The exercise has a lot of utility as it is a great way to incorporate some shoulder mobility while simultaneously engaging the lumbopelvic hip area, which brings a lot of benefits to runners. To do this, you will start in a single leg position like so. While you are performing this exercise, try to prevent the pelvis from dropping down and keep the thigh aligned with the other leg. Then, while maintaining this position, move your arms in opposite ways like so. Then, return the arms to starting position. Then you will bring the hands out to the side. Then, return to starting position, and you can repeat the sequence again. I typically have people perform 3 sets of these for 30-second rounds. This can be a pretty demanding exercise, so if you can't perform this for 30 seconds, you can gradually build yourself up to that point. The next exercise we'll go over is the single hand overhead carry. As I mentioned in a previous video, loaded carries in general are an underrated way to engage the lower body, especially the gluteus medius. Now, utilizing this specific variation brings more bang for your buck as it incorporates more load demands for shoulder stability as well. Anyway, to do this one, we are using an upside down kettlebell for increased demands on the shoulder. However, you can pull this off with any other weighted object that can be held, like a backpack filled with books or a grocery bag that's filled with items. Once you have everything you need, make sure you stand tall as you do this one. This means to keep your trunk upright and try to keep your arms straight. Then, you will walk in a controlled manner. As you do this, try not to sway side to side and try to keep the shoulders and hips level. Following these cues will make sure you engage the muscles around the trunk and hips. One other thing I will mention is that a common compensation is to excessively arch that back. This is a compensation that decreases engagement from the core, so try to keep the lower back in a neutral position. Anyway, for this exercise, I typically try to have people begin to incorporate it with 3 sets of 30-second to 1-minute rounds. The last exercise I will go over in this video is a loaded bird dog. As I mentioned before, the bird dog itself is a great way to engage the core and the muscles around the hips. However, this specific variation of the bird dog involves the arms to further increase demands of the exercise. Similar to the last exercise, you will need some type of weighted object. To do this one, you will start in a quadruped position as shown. Make sure you give enough space for the arm holding the weight. As you do the exercise, engage the core and try to keep the back flat. Try to imagine you are balancing plates on your lower back. Then, you are going to perform a row with one arm while simultaneously straightening out the opposite leg. As you do this, keep the trunk level and try not to lean too much toward one side. Then, you will return to starting position and you can repeat it again. For this exercise, I typically incorporate a relatively heavy weight and aim to have the person perform 4 to 5 sets of 4 to 6 repetitions on each side. And those are a few exercises that you can try out. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them and what you thought about the video. As always, I hope you guys continue to stay safe at this time, and I appreciate you for continuing to watch my videos.